In my latest video about fancy NPCs, I kinda spoiled this video was coming. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at FancyHolograms, a Minecraft plugin made by the same developer that allows you to add holograms to your Minecraft server. Once again, in a very simple, lightweight, and modern way. Now, of course, FancyHolograms can also be downloaded from Modrinf. It is available for all Minecraft versions from 1.19.4 all the way up to the latest version. Now, the reason for it only being available from 1.19.4 and up is because that is when the new display entities were added to Minecraft, which is a way more efficient way of adding things like, for example, NPCs and holograms to your server. Also very good to keep in mind is that this plugin is made for the Paper API, meaning that it only works on Paper servers and other Minecraft server software that utilize the Paper API, like for example Purper. It's also available for Folia if you're into that, but it definitely doesn't work on Spigot or any other server software that doesn't use the Paper API. Now, of course, after downloading, you want to drag it into the plugins folder of your Minecraft server and give it a quick little restart. And after that's done, we can now create a beautiful hologram. So the way hologram creation works is very simple. Simply go and stand or hover somewhere, and after that what you want to do is type /holograms create. Then you immediately want to make a choice between a block hologram, an item hologram, or a text hologram. Now, the holograms that most Minecraft plugins are able to add are text holograms. Those are the type of holograms you are probably looking for, so let's have a look at those first. After choosing the type, you want to choose the name. In my case, I'm gonna go for sub to Kasai, because I'm very bad at dropping hints. Now, after pressing enter, there we go. Our hologram has been created. Yes, it's literally as easy as that. Let's go and edit a line. The hologram itself tells you how to do that. So when we type /hologram, edit, then sub to Kasai, we will now get a list with a whole bunch of options that we can customize about this hologram. So we can add a line, we can change the background, which we will get into later. You'll be able to change the brightness, which is kind of cool. We can link it to an NPC, which we're gonna take a look at the end of this video. But first, let's just go and add a line. So we're gonna add a line, and just like with FancyNPCs, this plugin supports mini messages. So while you are still able to use the default Minecraft color codes like these, you can now also simply add hex codes or gradients. So if we, for example, type an arrow to the left, after that we do gradient colon, and then we can either type two hex codes, the name of a color, or a combination between. So something I can do, for example, is blue, then a colon again, and now, for example, a hex code, like #FF0000. Then we're gonna type an arrow to the right, and after that, our text. So, subscribe to be cool. Then you want to do another one of these arrows, / gradient again, and then another one of these arrows to the right. And there we go. Our gradient is finished. Like you can see, it looks pretty awesome. Now, quick little side note, if you would like to see a full video on mini messages and how to actually use them, do make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to get on to that. Okay, but we've created our hologram, and it looks great, except for, well, the top line. We don't really want that one there anymore. So to remove a line, what you want to do is type /hologram, edit, then the name of your hologram, and after that we can simply type remove line, and you will need to choose which line to remove. Now, the way this works is the top line is line 1. This line we just created is line 2. So if we want to remove the top line, we will need to type remove line 1, and there we go, it is gone. Now we just have the text, and it looks pretty cool, but there is so much more to customize. So by doing /hologram, edit, and then your hologram name again, we can, for example, change the background color. So by typing background, you will now have a choice to change it to one of these colors. So let's say we want to make it look clean. Let's go for a white background. And we can simply press enter, and bam, now the background is white. You might feel like it looks a little bit off. It's not truly white, and you would be right on that. The thing is though, that is just because of my shaders. Like you can see, with shaders disabled, it looks perfectly white and very clean. Shaders are great, but yes, they do mess with holograms every once in a while. Now, something cool I definitely need to mention about these backgrounds is that they don't use RGB. No, they use RGBA. RGBA is basically RGB, meaning pretty much all colors, but it also has an alpha channel. Now, if you don't know what alpha is basically transparency. So in other words, you can change the transparency of this background. Now, I don't expect you to know how RGBA works. Luckily, I found a cool website. So this website I will have linked in the description down below. It is an RGBA color picker. And it basically allows you to generate an RGBA color code. Now it's gonna get a little finicky here, but bear with me. So let's say we want our text to have a black background, but we don't want it to be fully black. We want it to be somewhat transparent. Then what we can do is we can set all of these values to 0, because everything 0, that is the color code for black. And then over here we can adjust the alpha channel. So decreasing this number will make it more transparent. I know it doesn't really look like that. It just looks like the black becomes lighter, but that is not the case. It is becoming more transparent. The reason it looks like this is because this website has a white background. And the more transparent the black color becomes, the more the white background behind it will start showing. But okay, let's say we want to go for alpha level 0.5. Then the last two numbers of this hex code are specifying that alpha level. And now it's gonna get a little weird, because the way this plugin works is that the alpha level needs to be specified before the RGB. So what we need to do is we need to copy this color code and then paste it in Minecraft just like this. But now it's gonna get a little finicky. What you need to do is remove the 80 at the end of the hex code and add it all the way at the start, just like this. Why does it work like this? I have absolutely no clue, but this is how you edit the alpha channel. And when we now press enter, and I, of course, disable my shaders, you can see it has a transparent background. It actually works, and it looks beautiful. Okay, but let me show you some more cool stuff you can do with this plugin. So something that's pretty nice is, because FancyHolograms uses the new display entities, you are able to easily change its size. So when you do holograms edit, your hologram name, and after that skill, we can, for example, make it 3 times as large. There we go. Isn't that nice? Now everyone on the server will see that you need to subscribe to be cool. Well, only if it were that simple. Because if we just move a little bit away from the hologram, you will see that it disappears. But you know what's cool? We can even customize that. So when we again do hologram edit, then the name of your hologram, and after that visibility distance, we can change the distance it will be visible at. So let's say I change this to 100. There it is again. Easy peasy. And now we can go really far away and we will still see the hologram. Damn, my chunks are almost unloading and it's still there. That's awesome. Something else pretty cool which we can do is billboards. So when we do billboards, and after that, for example, horizontal, from now on, the hologram will no longer move to face towards a player. In other words, it is now just stuck in this position, which is really awesome. This is also why there are a bunch of options to change the hologram's position. So you can rotate it if you want. If we do rotate and then 90, then the hologram will be faced like this. But when we do 180, it'll be facing in this direction. 270 will be this direction, and I think you get it. So when we do /hologram edit, the name of your hologram, and after that brightness, you can change the brightness of the hologram. So now it asks you, and this might be a little bit confusing, if you want to use block light source or sky as a light source. Now I would say just go for sky over here, and then by default it will be set to 15. So when we now change it to 10, you will see that the hologram becomes a little bit dimmer. When we change it to 5, it becomes even more dim. And then we can set it back to 15 to make it all bright again. Now, of course, moving a hologram is also something we can easily do. So when we go on top of this tree, for example, and we then type /hologram edit, the name of your hologram, and then move here, bam, it will move here. And now we can test out another very cool feature, because you can see the hologram is kind of located in the middle between these two blocks. Well, even that we can customize. So when we do a hologram edit, the name of your hologram, and then center, it will go and center to a block. There we go. It moved and now it's right in the center. That is so cool. It's such a small feature, but really cool nonetheless. Another thing you can do is insert lines. So currently I only have one line, and that is line 1. But let's say we add a few more lines. So let's do add line, and then hello there. And then we do another line. How you doing? Okay, there we go. Our hologram is now a bit bigger. It has more lines, 3 in total. If we now do insert after, we can choose a line number. So for example, line 2, and then we can insert a new line between line 2 and line 3. So if I add the gold text, have a good day, then now that will be added between those two lines. And something else kind of funny, what you will see is that the last line now immediately turns gold as well. You might wonder, why is that? Well, I used a color code for this line, but I didn't use an R at the end to reset the color, because I didn't use a color code for the how you doing line. The gold color will automatically blend over into that line as well. This is actually a really really handy feature in case you want to write a big text and you want it all in the same color. You only have to add a color code to the first line, and unless you reset it, all the other lines will be in that color as well. Now insert before, of course, kind of works in the same way. If we do insert before and then before line 1, for example, I can add the text Kasasura, and there we go. Kasasura will be added on top. Now the move here command I already showed, but you can of course also do move to and then type in some coordinates you want this hologram to teleport to. So that's pretty cool. And when you do hologram position, the hologram will actually teleport to you and take your position. So when we do this, there we go. Here we have the hologram and it just took my position, the place where I was standing, exactly. Now another thing we can change is see-through, and the best way to show this is actually by, well, disabling my shaders. So this is what the hologram looks like right now, but when we set see-through to true, it will look like this. So in this case, see-through is not about the opacity of the background, for example. It is about the hologram as a whole. And you can clearly see a difference between what's going on right now and what was going on before. Now set line is basically the same thing as add line, except it allows you to overwrite an already existing line. So when I do set line and I then choose for line 3, which is the hello there line, I can now put something different there. So I can, for example, add 100k subs in 2025, press enter, and there we go. The third line has been overwritten with the new text. Now there are also a bunch of options you can change in terms of shadows, the coolest one definitely being the text shadow. So when we do text shadow and set it to true, you will immediately see that text now looks a lot cleaner. It all has a little shadow and it looks super dope. Alignment is also something you can change. So by default your hologram is always aligned in the center. When we do left, it will be aligned to the left. When we do right, you get it. Alright, before I'm gonna show you how to attach a fancy hologram to a fancy NPC, let's have a look at the different hologram types that are available. Because FancyHolograms uses display entities, creating holograms is not just limited to text. So when we once again do /hologram create, we also have the option to go for either a block or an item. So what do these actually look like? Well, let me show you. Let's go for block first. Simply give it a name. In my case, I'm gonna call it a block test. And you will see now there's a random grass block hologram sitting in kind of an awkward position, to be honest. So let's move it up a little. There we go. This is now a block hologram, and you can do with this hologram whatever you want. Literally all the same things you can do with a regular hologram, you can also do with a block hologram. So when we do /hologram edit, you will see that the majority of these options are the same as with the regular text hologram. Of course, a few options are missing, like for example setting a text shadow, but other than that, the majority is here. So we can easily change the block to, for example, a diamond block, and there we go. Now it's a diamond block. Then we can change the skill and set it to, for example, 3, and bam, now it's a big diamond block. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And just like with the regular text hologram, you can change essentially every single detail about it. Now the last hologram type that's available is item, and I think you can already feel this one coming. When we do item test, there we go, it's an apple. This is the item as it would show in your inventory and in your hand. Now to change the item hologram, you actually have to go and grab the item you want and hold it in your hand. So let's say we want to change it to, for example, a diamond. You can simply go and hold the diamond and then type a hologram, edit, then the name of your hologram, and after that, item. You don't have to type in a name or anything like that. Just make sure you're holding the item, press enter, and there we go. Now it is a diamond hologram. And of course, like usually, we can up the scale to make it very, very big. It is actually really, really cool. Display entities have certainly been an incredible improvement for Minecraft. And the last thing I want to take a look at today is attaching a fancy hologram to a fancy NPC. So here we got a beautiful NPC that kind of looks like me. It was of course made with FancyNPCs, and something we can do is we can attach this hologram to this NPC by simply typing /hologram, edit, the name of your hologram, and then link with NPC. Type in the name of your NPC and bam! Now you will see that the whole hologram we just created is on top of this NPC. Basically in the same place where his name tag would normally be. And what is pretty cool is that it is now fully attached. So that means if I would move my NPC move here subscribe, then the hologram will come as well. Because it is essentially now part of the NPC. Now unlinking is of course just as easy as linking. /hologram, edit your hologram name, unlink with NPC, enter, and they are no longer attached. You can literally see the name of the NPC starts appearing again. And now we can just move the hologram to here. There we go. They are separate again. And that's gonna be it for today. I want to thank you so much for watching. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel. Join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.